When we think of Cartier, which symbol immediately comes to mind? You're right, it's the panther. For more than 100 years, the feline has been on necklaces, bracelets, rings, brooches, and the Maison even created an iconic watch dedicated to the panther, the iconic Panthère. So how did the panther become that important for Cartier? Spoiler alert, it's linked to a trailblazing woman who I'm going to introduce to you in this video. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Liz. I talk about luxury and fashion once a week. So if you want to learn more about fashion history, the luxury industry, or fashion events, come on over, join the fun, and subscribe to my channel. And just some brief housekeeping here. This is a non-sponsored video. I'm just sharing my personal opinion and my research here. The panther first appeared at Cartier actually on an illustration, not on a piece of jewelry. Louis Cartier, who was the grandson of the founder Louis-François Cartier, asked Georges Barbier to make an illustration of a strong and independent woman. La Dame à la Panthère was born because we see an elegant woman in rather modern clothing because the silhouette is rather straight. Of course, she wears a lot of jewelry, it's Cartier after all, and at her feet we have the panther. Looking at this today, knowing that Cartier did so many jewelry items involving the panther, we would think this was to promote a certain collection, but that was actually not the reason. The reason might have been a more general one, because the panther at the time was very popular, or its fur was very popular in interior design, in fashion. Maybe also Louis Cartier just liked the animal very much, and for the first time on a Cartier piece we see the panther or the pattern of its fur on a watch from 1914. There is also a watch from 1915. According to my research, this watch was acquired by Pierre Cartier. So okay, we can say maybe the Cartiers just like the panther, but already in 1917 we see a hint at the real reason why the panther became so important for Cartier. In 1917, Louis Cartier had a cigarette case designed, which is the first use of a figurative panther on a piece of Cartier. And he gave the cigarette case to a special someone who would become the major driver for the panther at Cartier. The reason for the importance of the panther at Cartier was actually a trailblazing woman called Jeanne Toussaint. She was born in Belgium in 1887, and after a rather difficult childhood, she somehow made her way to Paris and ended up socializing with the elite, we could say. She was in the circles of Coco Chanel, for example, and eventually she also met Louis Cartier and also the illustrator Georges Barbier. There are rumors that the married Louis Cartier and Jeanne Toussaint were slightly more than friends, but these are rumors. It is also said that she was the model for this illustration by Georges Barbier in 1914. By 1913, Jeanne Toussaint had already joined Cartier. She was the head of bags, accessories and objets d'art. And in 1933, she became head of the high jewelry of Cartier, which was quite significant because back then this was a male-dominated industry and also a male-dominated job. There were not many women who did that job, but she took that job over. And some people may say, okay, this was due to her special relationship to Louis Cartier, but soon she would prove people that she was quite forward-thinking, that she was a visionary, and she would be the one who actually created some of the most important pieces for Cartier. And a lot of people actually say that she is or has been one of the most influential jewelry designers ever in jewelry history. But let's come back to the panther. In 1935, Cartier released a ring made from gold and black enamel, and it had two 3D panthers on it. And the driving force behind this was actually Jeanne Toussaint, who focused a lot on these sculptural designs, these 3D designs, which were kind of different from the prevailing Art Nouveau or Art Deco style, which was very popular still in jewelry in the 1930s. The real breakthrough came in the 1940s with a certain celebrity, a polarizing celebrity. Wallis Simpson acquired a panther brooch in 1948. It was the first time that there was the panther used in its entirety. And then a year later, she acquired yet another panther brooch. So obviously she kind of had a passion either for the panther or for these designs. So this 3D panther is already very special, but it actually sits on top of a 152.35 carat sapphire cabochon. So you can already see even more precious, maybe even more eccentric, and it's yet another tribute to the panther. Another very important piece is a brooch from 1949, which was also seen on Barbara Hutton. It's this panther hanging in this really strange way. I do have to say it looks a bit creepy. It is actually a reference of the Golden Fleece. It even is called Golden Fleece, and the Golden Fleece has kind of like two big meanings. One is this order that was founded in the Middle Ages, and the other one is Greek mythology, and also the order refers to Greek mythology. I'm not going to bore you with all the details, but let's look into Greek mythology just a bit to understand the piece of jewelry. We have Nephili, who was married, and then she and her husband split up. They had 2 kids. He got a new wife. The new wife didn't like the children, and then Nephili had to save the crown prince and his sister. And she asked Chrysomelos for help, a ram that flew away with the children. Phrixus then ended up in safety in Colchis, in this area at the Caucasus. And then to say thank you to Zeus, they actually sacrificed the ram that saved him. They basically just kept the ram's fleece, and this fleece later was stolen by the Argonauts and Medea, so there's a different story. So this is this whole Greek mythological meaning. And then in the Middle Ages, in the 15th century, Philip the Good, who was the Duke of Burgundy, founded the Order of the Golden Fleece. And there are now 2 lines, they split up. There were also some fights between them. There's the Spanish line and the Austrian line. But what they still have in common is this symbol of the ram that's very often in coat of arms or even in the necklace as a pendant of the Austrian Order of the Golden Fleece. And there the ram is hanging like that panther. And I said before, it's hanging in this really weird way. And the reason is it's actually not the ram anymore. It's basically just the fleece, and they kept the head and also the legs. So it's not the most appetizing way to basically depict this, but that's the way they saw it. And then over time the fleece became kind of a symbol for wealth, because it was used in rivers to basically wash out the gold, because the fleece basically kept some gold particles. So that's that whole meaning behind it. I did a lot of research why Cartier or Jeanne Toussaint then designed this particular style with the panther. I could not really find written proof of this, but I assume maybe it's this meaning of wealth, this symbol for status. And in general, at the time when this came out, this Golden Fleece theme was very much on trend. Also, other jewelers took that up. There are also designs by Cartier using the ram, but I found it very interesting that they took it up with this panther. So maybe it's this marriage of wealth, status, also the mythological story, and then also the status of Cartier. And then we can see how the panther became more and more popular, and especially also linked to Cartier. In the 1950s, Prince Sadruddin Aga Khan commissioned multiple pieces. Then also the actress and singer Maria Felix commissioned a bracelet with 2 3-dimensional panthers, which is very, very beautiful. So we can already see somehow also the clients really liked this theme of the panther. And since then, the panther has never really left Cartier. I would say it just became more and more popular. And of course, there are new designs by Cartier, but also recently there was a beautiful vintage piece that we all got to see again. When Angelina Jolie promoted her movie about Maria Callas, she wore a brooch, and this was not only for promoting the movie in Venice, but also during the movie she wore it. And this brooch once belonged to Maria Callas. Now it's part of the Cartier collection, and this was yet again a panther sitting on a white chalcedony gemstone. So I found this really beautiful, this nod not only to Maria Callas but also to the panther at Cartier. And when you look at Cartier's website, you can see different also price levels of the panther. And of course we're talking here about Cartier, so the sky is the limit. I would like to show you 2 beautiful examples. One is from 2014. It's kind of a blend of a baguette watch and a 3D panther, so I found this very interesting. And the second one is from 2017, where this panther on the necklace kind of steps out of these emeralds and aquamarines, and it looks as if it steps out from a waterfall. So I think this is another very beautiful example of a more recent design. And now I'm curious about you. Did you know about this history of the panther at Cartier? Do you like this motif, or are you kind of tired of it? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to do two things which are very important for us creators and very easy for you to do. The first one is just to hit that like button, and the other one is to subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already. If you prefer to read about fashion and luxury, I also have a lot of articles on my website, thepinklookbook.com, and if you have time, you can also check out my fashion label Pelagona. And if you enjoyed this video about the panther at Cartier, I have another video which may be interesting for you. Thank you very much for joining me in this video, and see you in the next one.